me for just a minute. I've been moved to Omaha.
An inmate at the Douglas County Jail. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. To prevent calls from this facility, press 9. For a rate quote, press 8. Hello, this is a prepaid call from...
It's me for just a minute. I've been moved to Omaha.
What?
An inmate at the Douglas County Jail. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press. Your current balance is $97.18. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. For more information about our privacy policy, please visit www.connectnetwork.com. After the beep, press 5 to accept this call. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. Stay on the line to accept this call. Thank you for using GTL.
I don't consent to recording of this call. I just got your letter today, dated August 12th, and it says you might consider doing a write-up or a phone call explaining how this video helps your case, as at least one person is asking. And quite simply, the fact is that the airport was wide open. This airport does not have a fence around it. Even in the video, the airport president alludes to the fact that, well, you can drive right around the gate, so it's not like it's secure. The gate is all of 2 foot tall. You can step over the thing. Also, the hangar is a community hangar. Emphasize community hangar, meaning that anybody can get a key access to it at any time. As a matter of fact, if you watch carefully in the video, he even says that another pilot has moved the plane out of the hangar in order to get his plane out a number of times. So if some other pilot is getting in that plane and pulling it in and out to get his plane out, that means the plane has not been secured. And this traitor goon who, wants to imply that there's 24/7 security, there's not. Nobody watches that plane. It's out in the middle of nowhere in a hangar. And yes, does that mean that the Tipton County Sheriff's deputies that have already tried to frame me numerous times would not have access to it, or the FBI, or anybody else, or Sheriff Kapperman if he's on the tape? Certainly, anybody would have access to that hangar. That's not a problem. There's no, from what I understand, there's no video surveillance in that hangar. If there was, they would have, because there's not.
Hey, Mike, just for clarity, so you were in prison for 2.5 months, and they found a firearm in that plane, and they're now charging you with felon in possession, which could result in you going to prison for over 10 years on that one incident? Is that basically a summary of what you're facing?
They're claiming that the day that they arrested me, they're claiming they did not search the plane, which is a lie.
Yeah.
Because the sheriff was adamant about wanting to know where, they thought I was there in an airport with a car, and they wanted to search the car. And I guarantee you, the plane being unlocked, they searched the plane. They even said that the sheriff made an inventory of the property inside the plane. The only way to do that is to search it. And then the FBI, I guarantee you, went back out there. As I'm standing there for over an hour, they're doing what they call tossing the building. The building I was in, they took the ceiling tiles out of the ceiling, started pulling the commode up out of the floor.
Wow.
So these people are tearing the building apart looking for a gun. So don't anybody, be fooled by them saying, oh, well, yeah, we didn't get in the plane, But the thing is, even if they thought that the plane was the property of the Chilcote Nation, which could be, asserted because of that placard on the side of the plane. Well, guess what? That placard wasn't on the plane until after the airport president got the facts from Sue Holland and posted it on the side of the plane.
Okay.
They didn't realize they also sent some photographs that show that they took photographs of that plane the day I was arrested. So
this trial that's coming up on August the 28th is the only charge against you that they found a firearm. They claim they found a firearm in the plane, and because they found this firearm, you got to go to prison for over 10 years. Is that basically the only charge you're facing?
That's it.
Wow. Incredible.
That's it.
Incredible.
One count of I'm being accused of exercising the Second Amendment.
Wow. Incredible.
And here's the thing. They claim they didn't search the plane until 2.5 months later. I'm out of this. I'm not even in the state. I'm in Tennessee. On the day that they searched the plane, I'm in Tennessee. And guess what? They've had access to that plane since the very beginning. So if they claim that they didn't have access to it, they're lying.
Yeah, I got you. No, it makes sense now. I appreciate you covering that, because, you know, there's so many spin doctors out here that are trying to spin things against you, but for you to clarify that up is very important. There is a letter that's coming towards you. It'll go out today. I think it's an affidavit that you know what it is, so I'm hoping that gets to you in the next 2 or 3 days. And there was something else. I guess that's it, Mike. I guess that's all I can think of.
Okay, one other thing. This guy is trying to apply, and he says, plus, go ahead and contact Reverka and tell him to change his testimony based on the vid. Nobody is asking Reverka to change his testimony. Reverka's telling the truth. Yeah. I mean, I watched the video. He's not lying. He's admitting, I'm being framed. He knows that the whole thing is bogus. He knows that I'm being pursued and attacked by these people. He himself was falsely prosecuted, so he knows what it's like. Yeah. Watch the video. Reverka is innocent. Right. He's not guilty of anything. And I listened to the audio recording of the interrogation of him by the FBI. And the FBI is trying to get him under what they call a process crime, trying to frame him for what they call perjury, where basically they said, now you have to answer our questions. You have to give just the facts, not your opinion, not speculation, not supposition, nothing like that. Just the facts. And so what they do is, if he says something and then he comes back later and says, well, I was misquoted. It was, you know, if I said it was 3:30 in the afternoon when he arrived, and actually I showed up at 3:30, he was already there, then they're going to use that against him to claim that he committed perjury. You know, people don't remember those fine details. Yeah. That's what they try to hold over. That's how they convicted Martha Stewart. Yeah. And, I mean, she wasn't guilty of insider trading. They framed her by process crime by getting her to make a statement, and then they got her or somebody else to make a statement contrary to hers, and they charged her with perjury. That's how they frame people. Yeah. That's what Trump's talking about, that same thing through his lawyers, that they're going after this guy. That's why this guy didn't take the stand and testify, because they would try to get him on what they call a process crime of perjury. And that's why they don't want Trump to testify, because they'll take anything he says and twist it. If they can get anybody else to say, you know, like if he says, well on this day at a certain time, I talked to somebody. Well, if it turns out it was 5 minutes later, they can charge him with perjury. Right, right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. You see how stupid that is? But yeah. This is the type of lowlifes. This guy, Trader, he obviously doesn't have much experience with airports, because to say that airports are secure areas, he's out of his mind. Maybe an international airport, but not a small rural airport. No, very few of them have fences around them. You know, in rural places like the middle of Arapahoe, Nebraska, there's no fence. Yeah, you know, the challenge is they're keeping you locked up, and they tie you down in chairs, and they have a U.S. Marshal punching you, and they got these idiots out here like Trader that are spinning all the truth so that people don't get the full, the full picture of what's really going on. But we're just going to believe in God that He's going to work a mighty miracle to get you through this trial. One other thing I wanted to share: there's a book headed your way called Miracle in Atlanta. At least I think it's headed your way, and it makes the case that you should not refer to yourself as pro se, but you should refer to yourself as propria persona, which doesn't waive as many rights as pro se people do. I'm just sharing that. I don't even know what. I don't refer to, but Rudy, I don't refer to myself as pro se. Okay, okay. None of my documents have since I'm talking about over the last 5 years. Oh, okay. Now, okay. Prior to that, in 2009, yeah, I might have had pro se. Okay. But you know, that's before I just put I'm a live man. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, and where this guy Trader, he sold his soul to the bar apparently, because he says that I don't care about the consequences of my action. You know, exposing corruption in government is a necessity. standing up to corrupt thugs like him and his ilk is a necessity.
Amen. Amen.
And he says, instead of contacting the attorney assigned to him, well, guess what? I stopped calling that clown back in June because he doesn't answer the phone, and when he does, he sounds like he's drunk, and he's never answered any of my questions. Since March 13th, the man has never answered a question, and oh, by the way, I never consented to him being an attorney or representing me. As a matter of fact, I argued against that. I said, I don't use attorneys. I don't let anybody represent or represent me. I speak for myself. I demand legal counsel. That's what the Constitution calls for, legal counsel.
Yeah.
But I've not been provided that. And I've realized he's only adopted my motion. He hasn't written any motions on my behalf. My motion to basically suppress the evidence, citing that they've been in and out of the airport hangar. Dozens of people had access to the hangar. There's keys all over the place, and there's no security. The plane has not been secured for 2.5 months, so there's no assurance that the search of that is going to be able to render anything that hadn't been tampered with. I guarantee you, if they had a DNA expert that could have done some DNA forensics to find just my DNA alone, they would have had him on the witness list. But guess what? They don't.
Amen.
Why is that? Because there's probably DNA of everybody and their brother in the airplane, and whoever has handled anything that's been in there. And you notice it's interesting, they never mention anything about my luggage anymore. Who knows where's the airplane, where's the luggage, where's all my personal property?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter, but realize what the people need to realize. They're wanting to, by virtue of a statute, a corporate policy, they want to destroy my life for the rest of my life.
Right.
I mean, and society, the people in this country need to answer the question, is society benefited by me, someone who, rescues injured animals and retired horses and stuff and provides for them and cares for them and takes care of myself, doesn't ask for anything, never has, never gotten one penny of anything, worked my way through college, been involved in many ministries, and currently helping Native Americans in the Chilcote Nation stand on their feet so they're not dependent, teaching people to be independent, self-sufficient, self-governing. Does society benefit by me being locked up and society having to pay whatever it costs to warehouse me until I die?
No, but the lawyers and the judges that have stock in the prison system get to make more money, Mike, and that's what it's all about. Is it makes them more money for you being in prison. I pray to God that you don't have to have any lawyer, because one thing I have learned in talking to these people that have political prisoners, they always regret having a lawyer speak for them, and they always wish that they would have. They can definitely discuss their own case, and nobody knows your case better than you do, and nobody's going to do a better job at talking about your case better than you are. So I am in agreement with you. Avoid lawyers and do not let them force any representation upon you. You're going to represent yourself much better than any other person can.
Well, I've been asking this guy that was assigned as legal counsel every time that I spoke to him. I've only talked to him like 5 times since March. He sends me a notice. Basically, the people in Tennessee are sending information to him instead of sending it to me. I got a letter from him on Friday that had been sent to him a month ago. Okay, he got it a month ago. I just got it on Friday.
Yeah.
And there's a filing deadline. Well, guess what? The filing deadline was the same day. So how does anybody expect me to respond to a filing deadline in Tennessee the day that it's due when I get it that very day at 7:30 at night? That's by design.
Yep.
This is all by design.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. And I just pray to God that the Lord gives you the words to say. The Bible says that the Lord will give you the words to say when you brought up before tribunals. And I pray they don't force you to have this lawyer speak on your behalf, because you're going to speak on your behalf much better than anybody else.
Well, Christ only put out a woe to select few individuals that were worthy. One being the lawyers. Woe to you lawyers, for you've taken away the keys of knowledge. You entered in not yourself, and you hindered those who did. Basically, they changed the language so nobody understood what they were saying, and they messed up their case. Oh, and they never entered the arena. They had nothing to lose. And Don Shinzi's of the world, there's a special place, I believe, awaiting them, because ultimately they're just leading people down a path. They do not care about me at all. He only cares about himself, and he came to me with this, well, we need you to plead guilty. It's like, dude, I'm not guilty. I don't plead guilty to stuff I'm not guilty of.
Yeah, amen.
He has no preparation whatsoever. None.
You have 1 minute remaining.
He has not provided me the least bit of counsel, and since the very beginning, every time I see him and every time I called, which was daily up until June, from March 13th to the middle of June, I said, are you going to get me all the stuff that's been filed in this case since February 28th? And he's alluded that he would, but he never has.
Yeah.
So I've been denied access to the filings in the court, and I'm the only one filing anything in the case. And I filed motions for objections so that the judge have to rule instead of the magistrate, and they never respond.
I know you know this. I know you know this already, Mike. But don't underestimate how wicked these people are and how much what depths they will go to and lie to put you in prison. They will do some incredibly evil things.
Professional liars.
Yes.
That's why they're called attorneys, truth twisters, professional liars, and that's why there's so many jokes about lawyers and attorneys.
Yeah. No doubt.
So.
Well, thank you.
That's why they were outlawed in this country when.
Thank you for using GTL.